Alright, I've done this video too many times already, so this time if I mess up, I'm not going to start over. Quick disclaimer, I'm probably going to swear a lot in this video because that's the only way I can describe things sometimes. So there's that. Also, I'm not going to edit this video at all. You just kind of got to sit through it, so enjoy that. Alright, so 2024 Kawasaki Eliminator, 451cc parallel twin. Let's see. This is ABS, fuel injected. This is not the Sport Edition. So this is not the SE. This is just the regular old ABS. This is they brought it back from the 90s, late 80s, early 90s from the original Kawasaki Eliminator. That was a pretty badass bike, but this one is the new one. So, I've done a couple different things to it so far. Nothing crazy, but I'll go over that with you. I don't really know where to begin, so I'm going to start with the exhaust because right now this is very, very cold. It's like 30 degrees outside. I apologize for the shape of my garage. I tried to clean it the best I could, but hey, trash day's not till next week. So, let's see. I guess I'll start with the exhaust because I'm going to do the cold start. So, let me pick this up here, and I'm going to walk you over here to the side of the bike. This is Lizzie's Choppers. That's a friend of mine. An Ultra BZ. He's another good friend of mine. So, nothing crazy there. Alright, this is the exhaust. Hold on one second. Let me get this straightened up for you. Alright, so I took the regular exhaust off. It's sitting over here. That's a fucking piece of shit, man. That exhaust sucks. It's too quiet. Now, you don't have to be too loud, but you definitely can't be too quiet. So what I got here is an Amazon slip-on. It was like $70. It didn't fit the downpipe, so I didn't get a mid-pipe for it either. So underneath all of that wrapping there, if you can see that, hold on. Under all that wrapping right there is a bunch of JB Weld and AutoZone fucking adapters. Because I didn't have the money at the time. That's kind of going to be one big theme with this video, is I'm going to explain to you that don't do this shit the cheap way. Just spend the money. You know, if you don't got the money, you probably shouldn't have a bike. But save up your money, you know, and trick your shit out, you know. Otherwise, don't ride it too hard. All right, so another couple cosmetic things I'll show you. Obviously, I'm sure you're looking at the wheels. Those are just stock rims. The rear tire is a oversized tire. I got a flat tire, and I got an oversized tire for the next tire. So I think it looks a little bit beefier. I kind of like it a lot. It definitely gives it a different feeling. This bike is extremely dirty right now, by the way. I haven't cleaned it because it's fucking really cold out, and I don't have a heated garage. But, yeah, so we'll talk about the wheels a little bit. The wheels are Custom Tailor 33. All that is yellow reflective tape by Custom Tailor 33. You can get it for $40 on Amazon. They got all colors, all kinds of tire sizes, front and back, so you're good there. If you do decide to get those, put them on, take your time, do it the right way. Mine kind of looks like shit. It doesn't look even. When you're riding, you can't really notice it, but when it's parked, you can definitely fucking tell. The handlebars. Now, the grips on the handlebars are red, as you can see. I wanted red at first. I think I was going to try to change the color of the bike to red. But I don't paint, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Now that I've put the yellow on the wheels, I think I'm going to change the grips to yellow. If you do decide to do grips, fucking get the Pro Taper grips. Just get the Pro Taper grips, the ones that are all a solid color. Don't waste your time with all this cheap Chinese bullshit. Don't do it. You're going to ruin the look of your bike, and it's not very effective in quality. Those are your controls. That's the most important part of the bike when riding it, is your fucking handlebars. So, you know, you want to make sure you have good quality stuff on there. I got a phone mount on there too. I don't know if you can really see it, but I'm using my phone to record right now. So, the saddlebags. So, I got these Rock Bros. I got one on each side. They were like $40 on Amazon. Those are pretty cool. They're Velcro straps to hang on there, but what I did was I just Velcroed it on the regular way, and then I reinforced it with some zip ties because I don't want my shit going nowhere. Those are big enough to carry like a portable battery. You know, on the other side I got my Second Amendment in there, so I think it's a good buy. The other thing I want to discuss, kind of cosmetically, but also mechanically, is the chain. Now, I don't have the factory chain on there. As you can tell, it's gold. The factory chain, I believe, was just steel. I have the DID. I'll show you. I have... Let's see. So this is the DID 520 VX3. You got X-rings in there. It comes, obviously, when you buy a chain, it comes with the master link, the clip master link. Let me tell you something about those fucking clip master links. Don't buy those, or don't use them. You know, it's good if you're in a pinch, but, you know, take the time and fucking put the riveted master link on there, because otherwise you're gonna destroy your bike and crash. You know what I mean? If that comes off. You know, when you upgrade in certain things, you kind of got to buy tools and such, you know, and I'm telling you, just spend the money. It's worth it. Like when you get the riveter for the chain, just get the Motion Pro one. Don't get that Amazon bullshit. Mine broke. And now I'm fucking out that money and the Motion Pro. So just get the Motion Pro tool when you do the chain. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it cosmetically. I haven't really done anything else to it yet. I would like to do the fender eliminator at some point, but, you know, money. So I'm going to start this up for you. One more thing I did do was the mirrors. Those are the stock mirrors, but I added the, what do you call them? They just, you can get them on Amazon for like wicked cheap. They just extend the mirrors. Oh yeah, mirror extenders. Because those are way too close. I'm 6'1.5" roughly, and I'm 290 pounds the last time I weighed. So I'm a big kid, you know. And I'm not a kid, but you know what I'm saying. And I'm actually 28, so that's kind of weird for me to say that. But you know, just it's the mirrors are just too narrow. You got to extend those out a little. I was thinking about bar-end mirrors, but I don't really like the look of that. I would like to just take the mirrors off, but to be honest, they are very useful, you know, to look back and whatnot. I mainly use this bike for deliveries, believe it or not. This is my daily. I don't drive cars because cars fucking suck. But I've been riding, this is going into my 11th year now. So this is the newest bike I've ever had. This is the only fuel-injected bike I've ever had. It's a good bike. It is. I like it a lot. It's got a very weird... It reminds me a lot of the Ninja 250, the old school one, the EX 250. I had one of those when I was younger, and it's very, very similar, because it's a sports bike, but it's also a cruiser, and it's also a naked bike. It's like all three, kind of. It's just very long, you know what I mean? It looks really good in this light right now, actually. Well, from my point of view, at least. But yeah, let me start this up for you with that Amazon exhaust. This is a cold start. Obviously, I'm going to touch the fucking exhaust for you so you know. Look at that. Nice and cold. So let me get this motherfucker going. The way that I always start a bike is wait until that fuel kicks on. You'll hear the fuel pump stop. Wait a second, start it up. Like I said, do it the right way, get the right size pipes and all that. You're going to spend money when you do that, trust me. If you do decide to do a full exhaust, you're going to have to flash it. You have to flash it with the Power Commander 6. That's the only one that's available for this year. I don't really know if you can hear me, so I'll repeat it after I stop the bike. definitely let it warm up before you rev it. I know the internet's like, oh, do it for a minute or two and then do it, but let it sit for a while. It's okay. It's fuel injected. It's not carbureted, so you'll be all right. Just make sure you ride it if you're going to let it sit for a while. Like, I'll probably take this out a little bit later when it's a little drier. But, yeah, you got to ride your bikes. That's the whole point. Now, when I first bought this bike, I noticed that, so I bought it with 0 miles. The dealer told me, ride it 600 miles very softly, and then that's when it'll start to break in and you can go a little bit harder with it. I don't recommend that. What I recommend is you do it at 1,000 miles, wait a little bit longer. Definitely get 1,000 miles on there first, and then you can, I mean, you don't have to baby it, but like, you know, you don't want to top it out crazy all the time until you're at 1,000 miles, I would say. That's my own personal opinion. It's for you guys to argue. I don't really care. So when I did notice that the engine, the top end of the engine ticks a lot. Now, I've had Kawasaki's pretty much my whole life. I'm very dedicated to Kawasaki. I've had Suzuki's. I hate them. I never owned a Honda, but I've ridden a couple. Not a fan. They're good. It's just I prefer Kawasaki for some reason. Something about them is just really nice. But yeah, so the top end ticks a lot, and I'm pretty sure that's like the valves. Kawasaki's are very famous for that Kawi tick. That's what they call it. I brought it to the dealer and told him about it. I'm like, hey, this is ticking pretty loud, and the ticking got progressively, I wouldn't say worse. It got progressively louder, but since it's gotten louder, it's been a long time, for me at least, and it hasn't changed from that. So I think it's all right. It's definitely valve lash or valve clearance or something like that. Once you hit around 20,000 miles, between 18 and 20,000, you want to get your valves adjusted. That's a whole fucking, that'll cost you a pretty penny. Don't do it yourself. Just fucking do it. Get it done. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that, as far as the engine goes, it's, you know, pretty torquey in the low end. It's pretty powerful in the high end too. That mid-range isn't quite there, I wouldn't say. But I'm very biased when I say these things because I haven't had a bike before this in a while, probably like 2 years. So this is my second year of having this bike. 2 years before I got this bike, I hadn't had a bike in 2 years, if that makes sense. So I don't really know if my opinion really matters. But what else should I okay, so, you know, 6 gears, obviously, 1 down, 5 up. It's got a positive neutral finder, which means let's see, how can I explain this the best? You can put it in neutral at stop. You can't put it in neutral or shift up to second at stop. No, you can put it in neutral at stop, but you can't shift up to second at stop. You have to be rolling a little bit. I personally am not a fan of that. I would much rather have no positive neutral finder and just have a regular old transmission, but that's me. It's really good for beginners. This is probably one of the best beginner bikes on the market, if I had to guess, as of 2024, I guess you could say. I'm making this in 25, obviously. It's almost 26, actually. So, yeah. Let's go over some of the issues, I guess you could say. A lot of people were having an issue with their fuel gauge. The fuel gauge is wrong from the factory. It's not wrong, it's just messed up. So my dealer, I bought it from a Kawasaki dealer. The dealer replaced the gauge for me under warranty. That's the other thing. If you can get the warranty, fucking keep the warranty. Spend the money, keep the warranty. It's going to save your fucking ass. I'm telling you. Just get the warranty. You know, it covers everything except, wear and tear stuff like your tires and your chain and all that. Everything else is covered, which is great. The fuel pump. So the fuel pump and the fuel float are one piece. And the fuel float had some kind of an issue. I brought it to the dealer. I told them about it. I'm like, hey, this is happening to me and other people online that I saw. And they replaced it. They ordered the part. They replaced it at no charge because I have the warranty. And then it's fine now. Honestly, it's so much more accurate. This bike holds, I think it's 3.7 gallons, I think. I think it is. I might be wrong on that. But it's around 3 gallons, 3.5. And you can go a while on it. Your dash can show you your range and all that stuff. Just make sure you get that fuel pump replaced because otherwise that shit's not going to be accurate. The speedometer. Now, I will say that the speedometer probably isn't accurate either because it'll tell you you're going 100 if you can get it up to 100, but you're not going 100. You're probably going like 95, 90, something like that. So it's off by a couple. I don't really know how to fix that. It's not an issue for me because I don't really drive. If you're looking to go faster than 100 miles an hour, you should probably get the Vulcan or something like that. Something a little bit more powerful, a little bit bigger of a bike. What else? It's a good bike. I like it. It handles really well. It's very light, very, very light. And that can be scary sometimes when you're riding at higher speeds. A lot of wind at those high speeds. And I'm not putting a windscreen on there. Fuck that. It'll make it look ugly. That's what I think. I'm not a fan of the windscreens. And if you go like maybe between 75 and 90, you're going to notice that there's a little bit of a wobble. I think that's just the bike. I don't know why it does that. Any other time it's fine. But yeah. Geez, I'm drawing a blank on this. Let's see. Definitely keep it clean. I live in a place where it's very salty. Like there's snow on the ground right now. That's why the bike's not out because it's so salty outside. I got to clean it anyways. So now that I started it, I'm probably going to take it for a little bit of a ride, but it's wet out too. I really don't want to do that. I try not to ride in the wet weather. But yeah, like I said, I'm 6'1.5" roughly. And I'm 290 pounds. So what I did was I took the rear suspension and I adjusted the preload to the max preload. Definitely stiffened up the bike a lot. Hurts my back, but it holds my fat ass up. I'll sit on it for you just for reference. Don't make fun of me. I'm in my kind of like pajamas, so and yeah. Definitely a lot of pain. If you ride a lot of pain in the lower back from this bike for some reason. The seat's wicked fucking hard too. But yeah. Some of the other things I want to go over with you is pretty much the maintenance stuff. The stock chain. So the chain that the bike comes with from the factory, that stretches out so fucking fast for some reason. I kept having to tighten it. I ended up replacing it with the DID chain that you saw. And ever since then, it's been pretty good. I've only adjusted it once since I've had it, and that's like a huge fucking difference. If I really, keep your chain clean. When you clean it, you definitely want to take off that front cover down there. You want to take that cover off right there. So you can clean up the front sprocket and all that, and you can also remove the chain guard as well. Keep it on there for sure. It makes it look better, but it also it's safer. If your chain ever snaps on you, that'll potentially save you from losing a leg or whatever. That's happened to me before. The chain came off on the highway, and that sucked. Not on this bike, on an old Suzuki I had, but yeah. What else? So, like I said, ABS, not great for wheelies. You can take out the ABS. You can wheelie this bike. It's long. It's a long bike, man. It is. And you can get it up in first gear. I tried to get it up in second gear, but not with my fat ass on it. It won't do it. First gear, it'll pop up on you. You got to clutch it up. No power ups or anything like that. You got to clutch it up. I had someone in the comments ask me, what RPMs do I shift at and what is my max RPM? Now, that's a great question. That depends on how you ride. Are you a busy bee like I am? Do you just scuttle around town, or are you chilling on the highway? You know, stuff like that. First through second gear, you kind of, the way that I ride is you kind of have to, what's a good way to put this? I mean, I just kind of just max it out first and second gear, and then once I get going, I'm pretty good in second and third gear. So that really depends. Max RPM. I mean, hey, you paid for the whole tachometer, dog. Use the whole tachometer. You don't want to redline it though. That'll shut it off. You know, it's got a rev limiter on there, and it'll definitely kill the bike a little bit before you max it out. I don't know if that's an electronic thing or if that's something to do with the motor. I'm not really sure. Don't quote me on it. I'm not really going to ask about it either. But yeah, you pay for the whole tachometer. Use the whole tachometer. You know what I mean? That's how you learn. Slipper clutch. The bike does have a slipper clutch. It's not a regular clutch, which means you can kind of put a little bit more load on the clutch. Don't do that. You know, just ride it like normal. Ride it like it doesn't have a slipper clutch. And the slipper clutch also kind of makes it hard to do wheelies. So you really got to drop that thing. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's a good bike. It's really reliable. It hasn't ever died on me or anything. Like, and I was riding this bitch in -degree weather. You know what I mean? I let it sit in this garage. This is not a heated garage. It just sits in the garage with it closed and locked. You know, and oil changes. That's another one. We'll do the oil changes. So you can change your oil every 5,000 miles. Sure. I do it every 3,000 miles because, one, an extra oil change isn't going to hurt the bike. And the other thing is, because I ride it so much, you have to understand that that oil is used for your transmission also. So shifting up and down, you know, the better the oil, well, the fresher the oil you have in your transmission and in your motor, the smoother the bike's going to run. That's you know, pretty self-explanatory. If you're new to bikes, it's okay if you don't understand that. There's a lot of things I would like to do with this bike. What I would like to do first is get a second bike and then start modifying the power and all this on this bike. There's a car driving by. Hold on. So I know this kind of sounds a little stupid, but I would kind of, if I ever get the chance, you know, probably no time in the near future, but I'd like to put a little turbo on it just to say I have one. I think that'd be kind of cool. But like I said, once you start adjusting the exhaust and the power and the airflow and all that stuff, you have to flash it. So what I use is I use a regular air filter, stock air filter from Kawasaki. I use a K&N 303 oil filter, not the high flow filter, just the regular filter, regular air filter. And I have, the only thing I really have, I guess you could say power wise, is the exhaust. Now I noticed that I lost a little bit of the top end with the exhaust on there. Not even the exhaust, just the slip on, the muffler. I feel like I lost a little bit, but I'm also gaining weight because I'm a dad now, so that sucks. But not that, you know, it's just losing any power sucks. You want to gain power with stuff like this, which is why if you can afford the fucking $600, buy the Power Commander 6 and then go crazy with it, you know? That rear end, that fucking rear end, man, that is a whale tail. I will say that. It is ugly, but they have that Fender Eliminator kit from New Rage Cycles. You can get it on Amazon for, I think it's like $200 right now. I kind of want to do that at some point. That's just a plug and play kit. Pretty self-explanatory. If you need help, I'm sure there's a bunch of videos and stuff on there. Definitely get that if you can afford it. I mean, it's gonna cut off that whole, like, boom, and now you got like a real, look at that. That looks sexy. But the only thing I'm concerned about with that Fender Eliminator kit is visibility of the taillight. I live in a place where nobody, like, people will just hit you from behind and leave. Like, it sucks out here. But, you know, I'm sure it's just as bright, if not brighter, but I don't know because I don't own it yet. So there's that. I don't really know what else to talk about as far as this. Like I said, it's a very lightweight bike, easy to maneuver. It's pretty good for people of all sizes, I would say, as far as height goes. Weight's going to be an issue. I've noticed that when you weigh more than 250 pounds on this bike, it's going to be tough. Not that it's going to struggle or anything like that, but trust me, you'll know the difference. You will. You know, even putting a backpack on kind of feels like I'm, you know, extra, and that sucks. It's very self-conscious. But yeah, so damn, 25 minutes already. All right, so I want to stop talking about this now because I don't really know what else to mention. Like I said, as far as mechanical stuff goes, pay for it. Spend the money, keep it clean, keep it maintained. You know, it's important. Tire pressure and all that shit. Everything. You got to really, really pay attention when you own a bike. Any bike, not just this bike. But this is a nice bike. It is. It's good. It's good for around town. It's good for the highway too. You're not, like I said, you're not gonna really do over 100 on it because it's not gonna happen. But it's good for like 0 to 60. The 0 to 60 on it's like fairly decent. I mean, you got to remember this engine. This 451cc parallel twin is from the Ninja 400, and what they did was they extended I believe it's the stroke of it. It's not the bore, it's the stroke, an extra 50 cc's. So you can get a little bit more torque in the low end, and that's why it's really good for around town. I mean, stop and go traffic, stuff like that, especially with that slipper clutch. It's good. The brakes are good on it too. To be honest, like disc brake in the front, disc brake in the rear. Keep your brakes maintained as well. Like I'm probably gonna have to change the brake fluid sometime within the next couple months. That's important. But one more thing I would like, now that I brought up brakes, engine braking. Aggressive downshifts on this thing, man. This thing is very aggressive on the downshifts. But with that slipper clutch, you'll be all right. That back wheel's not going to lock up on you. So just don't be driving it, like a complete moron, and you'll be okay. But, yeah, I think I'm going to go for a little ride now because one, would like a coffee, and two, I got to ride it because I started it. So I'll start it up for you one more time, and then that'll be it. And if you guys have any questions or anything like that, or comments or anything, just let me know. Sorry this video took so long to get out. I had a lot of stuff going on as far as family and things like that. But, I got some free time on my hands. It's fucking very cold out here right now, but I tried to get it done for you guys. I told you I would. So I would like to see how many miles I have on it right now. Give me 1 second. So right now I have 12,945 miles. Yeah, that's one of the cool things I like about having this slip-on is it pops and stuff, which is cool. I remember when I first got the slip-on, I took it off. I took off the original muffler, and I just had it straight piped. Bro, if you have any exhaust leak on this bike, you're going to go deaf. It's so loud. It's crazy loud straight piped. I mean, that's probably any engine, but for some reason, man, this thing, it pops in your ear. It's crazy. So, to end this video, I'll just... I don't know, I'm just going to end it, but I do want to mention that if you're looking to buy, a bike that is, not too flashy, but something that is different, definitely grab something like this. This and the Honda Rebel, the Honda Rebel 500 is the competitor to this. I think this is better, if you want me to be honest. I think it just looks better. The gray color is really nice. That's kind of what sold me on it. Definitely, stay tuned, because I'm probably going to do a bunch of cosmetic stuff to this. Like I said, if you're looking to buy something, just for around town or something like that, something for the back roads, it's a really good bike, and it's fuel efficient, very fuel efficient, reliable. I ride around, if you're riding with friends and stuff like that, I ride around with a lot of the mini bikes, like the Groms and the kids that have the, what are those called? The Surons and the e-bikes and all that. It's really cool to bring to meets and stuff and just hang around with. It's not a performance bike. It's a looker for sure. But, so enjoy it. You know, if you get it, enjoy it. If you get it, maintain it. You know, you're gonna spend the money. You know, whatever seems like, what if you feel like you have to cut costs, definitely don't do that. Save your pennies. You know, I know it's fun to ride and stuff like that, but it can be expensive, and if you don't maintain it right, it's going to be even more expensive. I recommend that you get the correct, you know, name brand mechanical parts. Do that. You know, don't get no Chinese bullshit. You got to remember, this is your life. This your ride. You're literally like, your life is on the bike. You know what I mean? Like, if you're something fucks up on the bike and you crash or something, that's your life. You know, can't ride a bike if you're dead. So yeah, definitely leave me a comment or whatever. You know, like I said, I'm not editing this video or anything. I know it's almost 32 minutes long now, so a lot of rambling, a lot of swearing, but I tried. Okay, bye.